Well, good morning and welcome into our program. This is Think About Thursday, and Think About Thursday is always filled with mindset questions. So today, what I thought we would do is definitely take a look at some questions we could ask ourselves. And really, this is what Think About Thursday is about. Think About Thursday is about asking yourself and facing your challenges or facing your lions. We're here with you, and thank you for being here. Our direct connect line is 1-888-721-9260. Gonna go ahead and put this here. Our call in direct connect is always available for you. So here it is. You can call in before or after. If you're calling and we don't answer, it doesn't mean we don't get your call. It just means that we're momentarily direct connect. It doesn't mean that we're not here. Good morning, Trish. How are you?
Good morning, and I'm doing okay this morning.
I am so glad to hear that. So we're here, and we're ready to start with you. And also, if we're not here, guys, okay, we are working on what we want to tell you about. And that is about our show and what we're doing. Can you believe it? It is spring time. Are you guys feeling it? A little springy. All kind of things in the air as blossoms and blooms. We're going to talk about things to ask. And we're going to let you know what our thinking about Thursday should be looking like. If you are listening to our program, from anywhere, please let us know. We'd like to give your town, your community, a shout out. Please and thank you. If you call us before and after hours for the radio, for the podcast, we will get your message. So go ahead and leave us one. The only way to know that we're live is to follow and like our pages. Be sure to follow, because that's how you know when we're coming on live. So today, things to ask. That's what we're going to be talking about. Things to ask. And I want to let you guys know, as you look at your life around you and you come up with things, there are things to think about. There are things to be challenged in your personal growth when you think about it. Things to think about, things to challenge yourself, things that are challenges come up. But where are you? So we're going to be talking about this today. We want you to know you can hear us anywhere immediately after this podcast is done, we are going to definitely have it for you where you can get it any and everywhere. Our podcast platforms, major ones, and on our Facebook and our YouTube, so we don't miss a beat around here. Good morning to my co-host Trish. I am host Nisi. That's Niece with a hyphen at the last E. And Robinson. I have with me this morning my co-host Trish Scott. Good morning again, Trish. How have you been?
Good morning again, and I have been doing okay some days and good some other days, but nevertheless, I can't complain. So I'm very thankful for my life right now. So that's how I've been.
Love that, love that, love that. It has been very overwhelming at times for me. I've lately been feeling that way, but nevertheless, we push through it. And push means to pray until something happens. We push through it. Well, today is going to challenge you. And why do I ask that? Because today is to ask yourself. That is the topic of our podcast today. Ask yourself with a question. We have been wanting for the last 6 months to allow Think About Thursdays to be thought-provoking, to reach inside of yourself and ask yourself questions. Have you ever been around people that ask you a lot of questions and you say, dang, they ask so many questions? How many of you have experienced that?
I have.
Yeah. And I think for the most part, all of us can say with a resounding yes, you've experienced that at some time or another. But today, what I want to know, are you asking yourself questions? It's good to question yourself like no one else can. So today's title is Ask Yourself with a question mark. I want you to think about your personal growth from whenever you started to feel that you needed to be more focused, and the what, when, and how it matters. Have you found your purpose in life? Come a little closer. I ask you on this Think About Thursday, have you found your purpose in life? Because there is a purpose, but it's not up to me, it's not up to my co-host Trish to tell you what your purpose is. So I'm going to ask you another question. What is your purpose in your life? Or are you stumped by this question that I ask you to ask yourself? When you think about things in your purpose of life, what would you like to learn more about? I actually thought about this question. Didn't know that I would be asking it today. What would I like to learn more about? I'd like to learn about every animal that has ever existed. Every animal that has ever existed. Every flower that has ever existed. Because I love flowers. Have you thought about that question, Trish? What would you like more to learn more about?
What I would like to learn more about is, for one, it's always something I always wanted to learn more about is playing the violin, because it's something that I always wanted to do. I'm not classically trained. I'm self-taught in music, but I always wanted to learn how to play the violin. That's something I always wanted to learn. And also, I want to learn how to grow fruits. It's something I love nature. I love plants. So it'll be nice to know how to grow fruits. I can ask my grandma. She said she'll teach me something. So that's my source of learning how.
I love that. Finding a source. Did everybody hear that? It is always important when you're talking to someone or when they want to learn something more to be able to know the question, where can I learn? There are sources to learn from. And I think that's important. Thank you. Sources. Where do you look for sources to find things out? Um, I think this is going to be a really good thing. And I just can't wait to see what was our most popular podcast as the end of the year approaches. Not getting there yet, folks. Just saying. Another one is what has or what is, and we ask this question every Friday. What has been some of your challenges? From the great ones to the smaller ones. Because you know what I figured out? Challenges help you to ground who you are and what you want to be. Can you imagine if we had no challenges? And I want to take the opportunity to ask each and every one of you, what was your last challenge? Your last challenge. Mine for a few months now has been the ability to challenge myself not to worry myself sick. Not to worry myself sick. It's been a challenge because I am a person who literally worries. In fact, some people tell me I worry too much. And when I listen to that, worry too much, there is such a thing. Such a thing is that it starts to overwhelm you. You have anxiety. You start to develop physical things and emotional burnout. I get it when people say you worry too much. Trish, what has been one of your challenges?
One challenge I have is giving myself grace or understanding myself more, because it's a big challenge of mine. I'm so hard on myself, and when things don't turn out the way I want it, I beat myself up mentally. I do that. And it's been challenging to tell myself, no, you tried your best. Now, what else can you do? Weighing out my options. That's something that helps me with that challenge. But yeah, that's been my challenge.
Okay. And so we're encouraging you guys. The reason why we put out certain podcasts is because we know that many of you may discuss or not even know how to present your challenges. We want you to be able to challenge yourself with your personal questions. This is a interactive podcast. Again, the number is 1-888-721-9260. Our other number is a local number, 661-795-0475. You can text us. We've had a lot of people call that our 800 line. Go ahead, leave a message. When you leave the message, we definitely get it. Rings right back to me. So now that we've talked about this, here's another one. When you're thinking about yourself, what is it that you can do better in the next time? Whether it's next week, next month. What can I do better next month? I can learn to challenge myself when something comes up. Because maybe that something that came up is going to be a conflict. You hear conflict of interest, you hear conflicts in relationship, but I would challenge myself next time to be able to not avoid it in such a way of not only am I silent, but that I step up to the occasion when the occasion rises to be able to say, why am I silent? I'm working on that. Trish, what about you? For the next time, next month, next week.
I can work on saying something, speaking up. Sometimes I get so silent, I don't know what to say, or if I do know what to say, I don't have the courage to say what I need to say. So something I need to work on is just saying what needs to be said in the moment and not freeze up and be afraid to speak up. That's something I need to work on.
Thank you. Love that. If you guys are listening, please do us a favor. Please let us know exactly where you're listening from. I want to kind of keep it like that because it tells me how many people are listening from around the world. I think that's such a beautiful thing that you all are listening to places I've never been. Have you, Trish?
Nope, I have never been to some of the places. Well, most of it, Germany and Poland. I've never been there, but it's such a blessing to know that you guys are listening to us. So yeah.
And we want to thank you from all over. You are our proof that we have something to say. Thank you. Today's song is brought to you and thought about. It is Say Something by Justin Timberlake. Say something. What are some steps as you look at yourself, your life, and you live for quite a while, some here on earth, others, you might want to ask yourself, where have I been? Well, now's a good time to ask yourself, what is the next big step that you need to take? Next big step that we've already started. If you have noticed, if you've seen any of our flyers, we took a step. I don't know if you guys have checked it out. Our Wellness Wednesday turned that into a workshop. Our art, expressions through art, we turned it into a workshop. We're working on our next movement of getting ready for our store next door to our place that's right next to our original. Sorry about that. That wasn't in the plan. That's not in the plan. But what's in our plan is for the Healing Center's Relaxation Center. That's the next step. Trish, what's your next step?
Well, my next step is, for one, be more consistent with my Trish's Treasures, because I haven't been because I was busy, but I can try to be more consistent. That's my next step. And another next step in my career is teaching more days. Probably teaching a whole week, more long-term jobs for me. So that's probably my next step.
Love, love, love that. Love it. What do these questions do? They require of you an answer. If we have questions for Think About Thursday, please don't scroll past it, because it does involve you. You say, how so? Because it asks you, yourself. It's not meant for anyone else. A lot of people need these questions because they don't normally ask themselves. You know, in life, we're instinctively born to do what is next. Do what is next. That's instinct. You know, a baby falls and they do what is next. What is that? Get up and try again. So now let's talk about self-awareness when it comes to asking the bigger questions in life. When in relationships, what do you value? How do you perceive yourself? And what are your feelings? And how does it affect other people in your relationships? Are you at your best in any relationship? And if so, are you brave enough to ask the person that you're in the relationship with questions? Because maybe the person or the people that you're in a relationship with don't view it the way you do. And one of the things about Vibe Talk Facing the Lion is always to see your truth. Facing the mirror, facing the lion is always about facing what is truth. Because you can have two conversations. You can have a real conversation and an unreal real conversation. There's only two things. One real, one not real. Are you a real conversation? You know, I always say keeping it 100, but I notice when I say keeping it 100, it can come back and bite me because people that have heard me say that will try to use it as if my keeping it on or my keeping it 100, as I say, there's something wrong with me because I am a truth seeker. And naturally, I get that from both my mother and my father. So I was naturally, and that is the thing that I'm so happy that I have. Are you afraid to face the truth? Whatever your truth is. And when you come to Vibe Talk and you come and you do our workshops, do you see your truth? You see, thought-provoking questions help you to be able to see the truth. Now you're asking the when we do our workshops, when you come to Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. And that's why I always tell people you're going to work. Work is work, right? We say workshop. So you know it has something to do with work. Well, now it's going to help you work on your truth. The truth about you. When you are asking yourself. Asking yourself. Here's a good thing. It asks the question, in relationships, am I putting enough effort into them? And we're talking married people, friendships that have nothing to do with marriage. We're talking about relationships at work. And it doesn't mean you got to go be buddy-buddy with them. But are you putting enough effort into your relationships? When we think about other relationships or in relationships, who has had the greatest impact on your life? Who would you say, Trish?
I would say relationships with my family. That has the most impact on my life.
Yes. I would say my mother and my friend has had the greatest impact on my life. Now, when you think about yourself, we all want friends, right? How many of us really don't care if we have friends or not? Because I do know some people like that. Do you care if you have friends or not, Trish?
I care.
Okay. So for the caring people, or in case you're just wondering why you may not have friends, what kind of friend are you? What kind of friend do you want to be? Because you know people say, I don't have any friends. And they come to you and they say, I don't have any friends. And what's the next question that you would ask them, Trish, if someone came to you and said that?
I'll ask them why.
Yeah. Yeah, why? Why? We want to know, right? And they'll tell you, well, I don't know. 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 That makes me feel bored. So here's what I do. When people ask me or say to me, I don't have any friends. We do say why. But more importantly is what else I say. What kind of friend have you been? Doesn't that kind of change the game, guys? Don't you think? What do you think, Trish?
I think that does. That makes a lot of sense because, there is a why, but there's also what about you, though. There's always that.
Yeah. Because they want you to, it's like I tell a story and then I go, oh, poor you. But then I learned through my years of teaching, through my years of just uh, doing this training for what we are here for now, is our podcast. And when you ask that question, what kind of friend are you? What kind of friend are you? That requires an honest look. People say, well, my friend did this, my friend did that. Yeah, my friends are good people. But when was the last time you did something for your friend? Your relationship. Sometimes there are givers in relationships, and sometimes there are takers in relationship. Now think about this, if you will, for just 1 second or a minute. What if you were in a relationship and every time you were in that relationship with that person, every time you talked, what happened? You always felt exhausted. How many of you honestly have someone that makes you feel that way? You look at your phone. You don't even want to answer the phone because you already feel exhausted. You see the impact that could be in our relationships. And I say to those of you who are in relationships of a different kind, your better half, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, what are you doing in that relationship to better it? What are you doing? Why is it at a standstill? You hear people that have been married for a year, and they've been together, they're past the marital bliss, and you all know what I'm saying. Then you're into year 5 and you can hardly stand each other. The very person that you laid eyes on and said, yep, that's the one, you can hardly stand them now. And you want out of that marriage. And so upon getting what you call a pass, a finish, a cease, and I'm done with this and I want out of this. Ask yourself, what have you done to strengthen that relationship? We're moving on. We're still talking about relationships. And I want you to think about yourself, because we evade questions. Someone asked us something, we asked like we didn't even hear them. Like, for instance, how are you doing? Did you come to a standstill? Because I ask you, as we have a public relationship, as you tune into our podcast, as you hear my voice and you hear Trisha's voice, so you get to know us, and we're still evasive with one another. Don't be like that toward yourself. I would encourage you not to be. But think about this. When was the last time that you said something nice to someone in a relationship? And what did you say? Anybody have a moment like that? I had a friend tell me, as I've been telling you all, I've been feeling very overwhelmed. And you know what the friend said to me? You will get through this. You will get through this. I know you. You will get through this. That's the nicest thing that someone could ever say. And you say, Miss Nancy, well, I got one up on you. But how did it affect me? Because even when I didn't believe in myself, the kindest thing that we can do to ourselves is to listen. Because the person who was saying that to me really did believe it. But even more than that, the behavioral of me being able to get through something even at my worst moments knew by my behavior that I'm strong, I'm determined. Do we listen to those things about ourselves? Because every once in a while, the person that's in that mirror staring back at you is not that friend, but it's you. You can be the procreator of life as you live on. And I'm talking about the procreation of your journey. We know who is the ultimate creator. But as you live your life, you can tell yourself, I am strong. Or whatever things you need to say and really believe. For that moment, it slipped my mind, but here was the person that has been such an impact on my life, telling me, check the mirror, check the mirror. They didn't say it in those words exactly, but they were saying, I know you, and you will get through it. Sometimes we just need a little reminder. And that's why facing the lion is so important. It's such an integral part in this part of Vibe Talk, Facing the Lion podcast. Think about this. Your example for those in your community, for those of your family members, for your work ethics, for people that are familiar with you. Are you a good example? What do they know you as? Hardworking, respectful citizen, good neighbor, doesn't bother anyone? Are you an example And if you are an example, the next question is, where are you a good example? Did you get the what, why, and when? We always ask those 4 important questions. Where do we learn to question ourselves? Now, what do we learn when we question ourselves? Why do we need to learn when we question ourselves? Some of us are still walking around not questioning ourselves. And it doesn't mean self-doubting, because we all have that in some form or another. Some say we don't. I talk to people on a daily basis, and you know what I find out? That most of the people that are the most determined, they've been through an awful amount of pain. I'm learning that. They'll say they're determined, they'll say they're strong, they'll say they don't care. But the tears tell me differently. And that's for those of you who have talked to me, and I have learned you. So questions. When we think about our relationships, when we think about our emotions, we're going to be talking about this for the next. This is, by the way, our series in our Think About Thursday. We're going to be right back, I promise you. We'll take a break. And after commercial break, we're going straight to Trisha's Treasure. I'm excited to hear what she has to say. We'll be back. Right back. We're back, and now it's time for another edition of Trisha's Treasures. Trish?
I realize that so many things they get resolved when we do the simple thing, which is ask. And I've learned that because so many things I've had questions about. So many what I've seen, challenging relationships in my life, failed relationships in my life. I've seen it, and I'm like, so many things would have been resolved if I would just ask them, what's the problem? What can we do about it? Because in this episode, I've been thinking about the relationship part has really hit me hard. It has really made me realize that relationships in my life, I could try so hard at trying to get people to understand me, when in reality I need to step back and realize a connection takes two. It takes two. It takes me and the other person in the relationship. And it just made me realize that it's the answer is scary, but not knowing is scarier. And it's just so enlightening when you think about that, when I think about that, and it just makes me want to try harder. It just makes me want to do more and ask more. And it's so awesome that we have the need to know things. That's why we have Google, encyclopedias, research. Everything is so research oriented because we all want to know. And the hunger for knowing is a good thing, especially when it's you're hungry to know about you, discovering things about yourself and discovering who you are, who you are facing in that mirror, discovering that reflection. And yesterday, I my brother came to me and he randomly came to me and he said, "You know, Treasure, I'm proud of you." And he said, "I'm proud of you. You're doing the teaching thing. Like, so proud of you. You got your degree and you're doing a good job." He said, "I just wanted to tell you that." And so that just made me feel overwhelming, overwhelmingly happy and joy. And I was like, "Thank you." I said, "Thank you so much for that." And I was shocked because usually we don't uh, tell each other things like that. We joke about it in a loving way,
Yeah.
but just him coming to me and saying that, that's my little brother. I'm so proud of him too because he got his driver's license and I'm so happy for him. And yeah, I just it just warmed my heart because I usually don't ask them, "Guys, are you proud of me? Do you guys think I'm doing a good job in life?" I don't ask my family those questions. I just do what I do. And they never ask me those questions, but um it's a it's a fruit for thought. Just wonder if I ask them, do they are they proud of me? Do they think I'm doing a good job in life, or what do they think? Or and I ask myself, am I proud of me? Do I think I'm doing good? Do I think I got it all together? Those are very important questions to ask. So, in closing of my Trish's Treasures today, I'm just wondering if you're wondering about you, if you're asking yourself about you, and if you're hungry to know so much more about you and that you are so much more. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. You want more of Trisha's Treasures, just go to our YouTube page. And I want to say thank you for those of you who are already doing that. Our page grows. And believe me, we are in no competition with anyone. We do what we do because we know that people listen. And when you say something, someone's always listening. The gist of our show, of our podcast, is to say something. And I want to make a correction. Our song will not be JT. We love you, JT, but we're going to pick Say Something by A Great Big World. Say Something. Because when you listen to that song, it's such a beautiful song. And we like to fit our music with our topics. What you're going to find out, this is what Trish and I have been doing. What we're going to find out, let's say you play one of our shorts, our songs. Attached to the short is going to be the podcast of where we're discussing that particular song. And attached to the podcast, if you say, hey, I'm going to listen to a podcast, you're going to hear the song for the day. That's how we're doing it now, so that everybody gets a fair chance to hear. And we do have something to say in our Think About Thursday. I want to go ahead and thank all of you that you tuned in. You could probably tell us better than we can who we are by our voices. Think About Thursday is about asking questions more toward yourself, thinking about yourself. This is the opportunity where maybe you may feel that no one ever listens to you. Why should you answer questions when nobody's ever asked you anything? This is the time to speak up, to say something. And so we give you the opportunity to think about it. As you ponder over our questions, I want to say something in light of this Think About Thursday. It started with Vibe Talk questions. You remember that, Trish?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Funny how life transforms. And you all have been doing that. If you're not on the air live, I just want you to know, go ahead, speak, say something. We get your messages, but you gotta leave the voice message. You can answer questions like this one if you have something to say. We'll do a playback, and it gives you a minute of fame. You can say, hey, I was on a radio show. Or these people really do listen to us. So would you do me a favor? Say something when you call 1-888-721-9260. That line is available to you at any time. Leave your messages. You can also text us. I want to thank everyone. My amazing co-host, thank you. We look forward to your career. Everything changes for a reason. If we're not here when you think we should be here, we have almost, what is it, Trish, 90-something videos?
I think it's 895.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So you can never think that we don't have enough. Introduce someone else to the YouTube pages or pages. If you like something, let us know. If you didn't like something, let us know too. We take the good, the challenge, and the not so challenge. We'll take it all. But Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast is your podcast about emotions and feelings and the experience with that. Thank you, everybody. And we will see you next time. Thanks, everybody.